The first question of today is, Coach, why is it that fighters avoid and do not fight each other today? Now that's how we're going to hit it out of the park like a home run on today's show. That is what we're going to close the show with. We're going to get very in depth on why is it that these athletes do not bump heads with each other. And I'm going to give you such a reality check, and it's going to give you an entirely different perspective of what's actually going on in the sport of boxing. The fact of the matter is this: the business of boxing is based upon supply and demand, right? I'm going to make it really simple. Why is it that fighters do not fight? I'll go back to the Teofimo Lopez fight with Kambosos. Special shouts out to George Kambosos. He's keeping his training camp down in South Florida. Smart, because, you know, that's where you're going to get the killer work. All the fighters in the world, they're truly bringing the smoke, or down here in the dungeon. We at the bottom, baby. This is the tropical land. That's why they call South Florida an island. Supply and demand is this: the fighters cannot have an event if the demand isn't what we call over the bounds of plenty. That wave of what we call, when you used to see Mayweather put on those things, those pre-fight energy builders promoting the fight, and you got Mike Tyson, who used to bring that energy, and Muhammad Ali, who used to have it, and Prince Hamed used to have these buildups, and the numbers of what it costs to put on an event from guys like Bob Arum and Don King. If these fights don't have that level of energy and embody a volcano, Eric Morales, Barrera, 1, 2, and 3. If it doesn't have the smoke like that, you're going to be out of pocket way more than you bringing in, because it's a lot of mouths to feed, and the fighters want a lot of money. I've been on the promotional side, aiding in that side of the game. And when you don't understand what goes out and fighters pulling out, I'm talking about at the weigh-in, because now they feel like they have leverage, because if you don't pay them what they ask for, they won't fight. And that happens. So to prevent all of these things from happening, promoters put you against, let's just use two fighters as an example: Ryan Garcia against Tank. What happens is now they have social media to get a read on it. And they can basically say, like we say on our page, I'll put a video will go up. All right. Our admins put the video up, right? I'll know what the video is going to do. They'll know what it's going to do soon as that video go up. Why? Because we understand the supply and the demand for that type video. We just put up a peekaboo video, just a little 15-second blur, 7,000 views in like 20 minutes. Why? Because people are interested in that. So what they have to do is put a little content out there. Javante saying something to Ryan. They can know, based upon the number of retweets, interaction, impressions, how much that fight's going to make. That right there tells them no way. Every once in a while, they drop the ball because they get greedy, like Eddie Hearn did when Anthony Joshua was supposed to fight Deontay Wilder. and it's called market value. You want to see Errol Spence versus Crawford, but both of them are putting a lot on the line, but Crawford's market isn't big enough. Errol Spence market is only big if he's fighting big names. He can't go fight a Joe Schmo and sell 1 million pay-per-views. So, but he's still going to want his $6-7 million. He's and everybody else in the entire staff of PBC still has to be paid. The other fighters, all the other 30 other fighters on the card, because there are plenty of fights before the one you see, those 4 fights you see on the pay-per-view card. There are plenty of other fights and miles they have to get fed. They have to pay for the arena. And I'm not justifying. The thing about it is they have to protect margins. So when you see two fighters going back and forth that you want to see, your job is to get off of your ass and retweet, pass it to your boys, tag people, retweet, share, comment, because that's what determines if that fight's going to happen. Because Mike Tyson was shared and viewed over 4 billion times when his fight with Roy Jones was announced. Guess what? That's exactly why he fought. Because if those numbers weren't there, that fight would not have happened. It hadn't happened like that when the talks of Holyfield. It hadn't happened like that with the talks of Lennox Lewis. It's not going to happen until those numbers meet, and you're in control over those guys fighting. So please don't complain. Just understand the game, and to make sure you share. And when you're interacting in social media, bring the impressions up, sharing and conversating on these videos, because all of the people that matter in the sport of boxing are watching on these feeds like you are. So those people out here in YouTube, they're watching. It's probably 100 people watching over there, and it's probably 2,000 watching right here. Before tomorrow, it'll be 8,000 and 10,000. So those people over on YouTube, you got to do the exact same thing. So special shouts out to my man over here on YouTube. Would be the, I don't know, Wilder and White. How do you stop closing out? Oh yeah, you was on YouTube. So these are the things that you got to understand. Your impressions in social media carry a lot of weight, because what they're doing is calculating the percentage of the people that will buy out of the amount of people that are chiming in. That's why you were able to make Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor. That's why you were able to make Mayweather and Logan Paul. That's why you were able to make Jake Paul and whoever, because Jake is doing numbers. And so you have to get behind these guys in the sport. Special shouts out to Christy Martin. She has an amazing documentary coming out August 17th. So make sure you tune in. We will put some stuff up there once she sends it to me to post up here. And I want you all to support boxing, or it won't stay on Netflix long enough to be one of the more viewed. And that's what you as audience have to understand about the sport of boxing. You got to support it. Comment. Stop being so damn lazy. Like, comment, share. Those are impressions, and tag people. That's what measures the interest of a fight. I hope that makes sense. So it's your fault. And I'm not meaning it's your fault. That's what they're reading. The numbers don't lie. So comment, just hit like or dislike. They rock with that too. Long as it's an impression, don't let it be because of you that these fights aren't happening. They need to see numbers. They need to see millions upon millions of impressions for these fights. Hell, our page gets 3 or 4 million impressions. So what do you think they're looking for? They're looking for 20, 30 million impressions. So you got to be a part of it. So I hope this was really good for you. And we will chop it up on Pacquiao Errol Spence next week when we do Can I Box. So special shouts out to my brothers, my new brothers in the school of boxing, my fraternity brothers. And for those of you who are looking to do something smart, make sure you connect with us. That's all I got for right now. Until next time, continue blessings from South Florida. My name is Eric A. Bradley, and it's signing out. Until next time. Peace.